So I'll just take you around the back and show you the view from there and show you what I've got going on the back side of the van. Okay, so this is the view from the back. As you can see from what we could see inside, I've shown you all the kitchen stuff here. You've got the bed. The bed actually does fold up. It was designed originally, I designed it to fold back and be a couch. This is what supports this, so you got the foot area down here. But with the new mattress that I got, which a lot of you already know about, it doesn't actually fold very well, so I can't fold it into a couch. But to me, it was more important to have a comfortable place to sleep and a proper bed than to be able to have a couch. So I kind of modified that a little bit, and now it just stays in the bed mode. But it was originally designed to be able to fold back and be a couch too. So that's the bed, and I've also set up down here. I left this little space open to be accessed from the back. I've got a couple of camping chairs here. I have an extension lead. Now people keep asking me about shore power and whether my battery charger works with shore power. It doesn't work with shore power, but I've also never needed shore power, and this is kind of proof. This is my extension lead and it's still wrapped in the original plastic. So I've got it there in case, but I've never needed it. This is where I keep my oils and things like that. That's just a little spot there. I've got this here, which is a stool, but it also has storage inside it. It's like kind of like my junk drawer. Just has a whole load of stuff in there. Like I was saying before, these lights here are USB powered. So I have the cable running down here and running around this fan and comes to this USB port here. And I've got a USB extension lead which then plugs into here. This is my battery monitor. I don't know if you can see that. That tells me at the moment I've got a full battery. And then something else that's new from the last time I did a van tour is this. That's my inverter. It's a 400 watt pure sine wave inverter, and I've got it hooked up to this power board. So I've got more than one outlet because they only come standard with the one outlet. It does have a USB port, but yeah, I've got my battery chargers, blender plugged in. I've got spare ones here for like my laptop and things like that. I got my other fire extinguisher there, like I was telling you. And this back here, this little switch, is actually to turn these fans on. If you haven't seen them in my other videos, I've got a fan on either side, and when I turn them on, they actually bring air into the van from out here. So you have these vents on the outside which I've opened up. They normally have these rubber flaps covering them inside, but I've opened it all up and put fly screen or insect mesh in there so that you can't get any insects in there. But what they do is they give me fresh air. So I have that fan there and that fan there, and they're super quiet, super efficient, and they can be left on all day and just bring fresh air into the van, which is perfect. Yeah, so I've got these little sockets throughout the van. I've got some up the front as well. This being only 400 watts, you can't necessarily power a lot of the heavier duty stuff, but it's enough for my blender and laptop and things like that, which is perfect for me. They do suck a lot of juice, the inverters, so I wouldn't really want anything any bigger anyway with my battery setup. Actually, I should mention that too. My battery setup is underneath the stove there, so I'll take you around and just explain that to you for anyone that hasn't seen before. But underneath here, when you lift the stove off, is my battery setup. I might be able to give you a quick glimpse in there if I can lift this with one hand. Yeah, so in there you can see I've got my C-Tech battery charger. I have the fuse box over there, more socket outlets, and that down there is my deep cycle AGM battery with an isolator switch and everything, and that's all wired up to my solar panel, my inverter, and also down the back here I've got wires that you can't see, but they go under here, which is where my starter battery is. So it's wired up to the starter battery, the solar panel and the inverter. and I just have the cables coming out the back of this box, and they all run under the step here and come out and over, and they go to where they need to go. So this one here is for the solar, that one there is the inverter, and I've also got some that are hidden for the socket outlets and things like that. So yeah, that's about as much as I could tell you about that. What I might do is just fold the bed back so that I can show you the storage in the kitchen sink area, and also show you my water storage. So bear with me, I just got to rearrange everything inside and I'll turn the camera back on. So this is what it looks like when the bed's folded back and you can get to the storage. As you can see, I've got these pieces here. This has actually got a hinge running right the way through it. So that's the piece that you could see here. It folds back and then the whole thing folds up. So that's how that works. I've got another big long hinge at the back there. And then this piece of timber here is actually, it's got a hinge inside there. I don't know if you can see it, but it normally lays down flat, and when you lift the bed up you just tilt it up and it holds it in place. It's all just held together with like a timber frame, and I've just got the plywood screwed to the outside of it. I don't really keep that much under here. It's mainly just clothes and, you know, like spare sheets, and I've got a sleeping bag over there for when it gets really cold. I've got my hammock, which is this thing over here. So yeah, I don't really keep a lot in here. I've got some tools under here as well, just basic stuff. But that's the storage under the bed. I don't think I've ever actually shown anyone that. And then this is the cabinet here with the sink in it. You can see the rest of the drawers there. So there's 4 drawers in total. But then I've also built this piece down here, which if I can do it with one hand, there we go, open that up. And that's just another storage area under there. Again, I don't keep much under there, just stuff that I don't need access to a lot. I've got some spare plates and stuff. That's for the grill, if you want to make toast or something. I've got some of these little camping gas cylinders to go with another little stove that I have. That's a hose to fill up my water container, which I'll show you in a sec. I just have that in case I need it whenever I get somewhere. If the tap can't reach the container, I just take that little hose in. Yeah, so that's that bit. I'll just have to jump in the back here to show you the water supply that I have for the sink. Now, the water supply is behind this cabinet here. So you just take this little elastic loop off and pull the whole thing off. I made it so that you could take the whole door off instead of just opening it with hinges, because this is actually quite big, and the way that this was with the size, if I had have made it with hinges, it would have opened up and hit there, and I might have had trouble getting this out. So I thought, to make it easier, remove the whole panel and then you can get to it. Now, it's pretty dark in here, so I'll just stick this little torch on so you can see. This is the water container. It's a 25 litre water container. Lasts me, say just under a week. It depends on what I'm doing. Sometimes it'll last me a week, sometimes, a few days. It depends how much I'm using the water. But on average, I'd say maybe, 5 days to a week. It's about half full at the moment. And it's connected to the bottom of the tap or the faucet with this little hose that you see here. And I've got a quick release connector just there, which I'll just try and demonstrate to you. So you just pop that off there and it comes off like a normal hose would, and that way you can take the whole drum out without having to pull any hoses with you or anything like that. Originally I did have it just going straight through the top without that quick connector, and it was a pain in the butt to get out. So I came up with that little system and it works really well. That's the bottom of the sink there. You've got like a little 90-degree connector there. It did come with a straight down connector, and it ended up fouling on the top of this water container. So I had to get the 90-degree so that it would go off to the side and wouldn't get in the way. And I've just got some clear tubing, runs around the back of the water container and comes out down here. And then I've just got a little isolating tap there in case I don't want the water to drain out from the sink, but most of the time I keep it open, and it literally just goes straight through the step and drains out to the bottom of the vehicle. So I'm careful where I drain it. I try not to annoy people with that sort of thing, but because it's only water, it's literally just water from the sink, and I use pretty earth-friendly detergents and stuff. It's not a problem. You just can draw attention to yourself if you're leaking water out of the bottom of your van. So I normally try and park over a drain or something like that if I'm going to be doing a lot of washing, or if you park in a gravel car park, it's not as noticeable, or on grass, even better. So that's how I do that. So what have I covered? I've covered the water, power, shown you all the storage and stuff. That's about it. If there's anything else that you want to see, make sure you let me know in the comments. And if you want to see anything in more detail, I do already have a lot of videos out. If you haven't seen them, things like my solar, my battery setup, I have videos on my water storage and all that sort of stuff. I'll try and post some links to those videos. And if you haven't checked it out already, check out my website. It's www.BecauseiVan.com. I'll post links in the description as well, and on there I've got an Amazon store, and I've other of the products that I use and things like that. So if you want to know where to get a lot of the stuff, then you can get it on the store. Other than that, I hope you liked my van tour. It's a van tour 2.0, so I've already done one in the past, but I feel like this one's probably going to cover more of the stuff, and I also got some new things, like I said, so I'll speak to you soon. Hey guys, I hope you liked the video. If you did, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe down below, and if you want any questions answered, just leave a comment and I'll see what I can do. Bye.